Welcome back. You're still watching the BENIE UCHE Show, and I have on the set today, I consider her a financial guru and a consultant in the financial and banking sector. My guest is Miss Ivy Onuora. Ivy, before the break, you gave quite a lot of lowdown on, expectations for those who want to get into banking and finance. However, looking at the current trend of things, one wonders, does banking and finance favor women? How has this affected, the productivity of women in the banks, their home fronts? And I'm wondering, have banks in recent times gone into providing creches for nursing mothers?
Yeah, it's a come-see-come-see for most women, because history has proven that most marriages have been affected because of women who are in the banking sector. In fact, for some younger women, they have had to do what is called a trade-off, whereby their spouse will ask them, is either me or your bank or your career. And because the woman wants to save her marriage, she has to opt out and then become the housewife or become the trader or businesswoman that her husband would prefer her to be. Or she might go for a lower profile career that is not as demanding as what we have in the banking sector. For women in the banking sector, it has, what we see now is that, will I talk about the past or now? Let me talk about the past. In the past, you will not see a lot of women rising up as fast as you see the men. You have this gender inequality in terms of women rising to the peak. For now, you see some women stepping up the ladder, I guess because maybe awareness in how to manage the home front and what you have from the office. I read a book a while ago that one of my CEOs got us to read, Jack Welch, and talked about work-life balance. And
which is very important.
Yeah, it is very important. And when I speak with some people, they actually say work-life balance is a mirage. And I'd say that it's not really a mirage. It's something that is workable. It's a determination from the side of the woman for her to know how to balance both sides. I heard about Mrs. Awoshika, the current chairman of First Bank of Nigeria, who said that once she steps into the house, she removes the cap of authority and puts on the cap of a mother and a wife. So you have to play that dual role as a woman, so that from the office front, your productivity is not affected because of what is happening from the home front. It's a tough one and very rough. I wouldn't say it's easy. It's an easy road to go. But my advice to women out there who are still in the banking sector, learn to develop that dual role, etc. And once you come into the house, that femininity in you has to come out, so that it doesn't rub off negatively, because we all understand the challenges of what it takes, to rise up at the ranks in the banking sector. You meet a lot of rough edges, etc. Targets, working late.
Especially those targets.
Yes, yes. And also, even sometimes, the targets and even traffic. You're working so hard, you're commuting back and forth, and then you get home at about 10. You have to report back to the office the next day for a 7 o'clock meeting, etc. So the woman just has to know how to juggle it out. Of course, wisdom, a lot of wisdom and understanding. And we're also hoping that some of the husbands back home should put up some form of consideration, because it can be quite tough on the women. But I'm talking as a woman now. If you're working in the banking sector or any other sector that is highly demanding, etc., you have to put on that dual role. let us take on that dual role, put on the cap of authority and put on the cap of the wife or the mother back home, because your children need you, your husband need you, etc. Nobody will applaud you for having a failed marriage, etc. Even in the office, you know. So it's a double-edged, what do I say, sword, where they have to know how to play it out quite intelligently.
You know, Ivy, we're still on this topic about women and banks. Look at the case of the nursing mother. You wonder, the nursing mother probably wants her job. She also wants the attention of, you know, to pay attention to the baby. I want to know, are banks these days encouraging and supporting nursing mothers to like bring the babies to the bank? Are they creating creches? Are there banks that are doing this? You know?
Yeah, out of all the banks that I know so far, it's only one bank that has done it, and they have sustained it over the years, and it has helped them a lot in terms of having nursing mothers nurse their kids or their babies or their toddlers within the confines of the office while they're still at work. And that way makes the mother or the working mother to be more committed.
And bonding with the baby.
Yeah, and bonding with the baby. And it makes her pay more attention to the job, etc., as against when she has to think of rushing out of the office by 4 o'clock to go to the creche where her child is or her baby is. You know, all that tension around it. In fact, I've worked with a lot of them, so you can see them getting restless by 3 o'clock. You know, so their attention, they lose attention on whatever you give them. So at that point in time, everything stops around them. But if they know that the baby is somewhere, you know, around the office, you know, a small place where a creche has been built up, her mind is at rest, and she can even stay up till 5 o'clock, which is the closing time, official closing time.
Absolutely.
But technically, most women will work beyond that 5 o'clock, but a nursing mother will give you that extra time, will go the extra mile.
Extra mile, exactly.
Yeah, go the extra mile, etc., to give her time and dedication to the job, or whatever deadlines you've given her. And whatever you tell her at that point in time, she's
listening.
She's not listening to you. Because
I'm saying, but if the creche is there, she'll listen to you,
she
know
will,
that the baby's just a few rooms away.
It's a few rooms away. So it would be nice if some other banks could replicate this, you know, and set up a creche for the nursing mothers, because women, you know, should be looked at part of the workforce that can be
carried along.
That can be carried along, and their productivity level can go beyond what is expected of them within the office.
Thank you, Ivy. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be back.